Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is Hello App on iOS. And today, we're going to be having a look at
Blindfold EQ.
Blindfold
EQ.
But first, let's catch up on what didn't happen yesterday. Let's play some Rob and Cheyenne with Who Am I?
Smoked a pack of cigarettes today. I'm home, but I'm not really here. The sexy side of things is clouding my true feelings. Sitting under my kitchen table, as if it were the last pathetic hideaway of it.
Good morning and welcome to the show. That was Robin Cheyenne and Who Am I? Pinned a comment up the top of the chat. If you want to go and click it, go do it. Subscribe to our channel because unfortunately yesterday we couldn't. What the hell? We couldn't do the. Damn, man, it's just not stopping today. We couldn't do the show yesterday. Sorry, guys. I've got a blood nose. What do you know? the fifth one today. We're doing good. Oh, YouTube won't like that. Blood on the camera. Is it all gone? Have we got most of it? Cool. Yesterday we couldn't do the show. Man, that's gross. We couldn't do the show yesterday because we had some severe technical difficulties and we just couldn't get it worked out. And it is what it is. You know, the shit happens and you've just got to let it go, which is very hard for me because I'm an anal perfectionist. And yeah, and we just, you know, I would have loved to have done the show yesterday, but the sound it just wasn't happening. Just some days, man, just technical stuff just doesn't work, you know, and you can't get it working. We tried for 40 minutes and it just didn't happen. So there you go. And it kind of puts a bit of a bullet in the head of the guest opening hour slot for a little while. It's going to go on hiatus for a bit because it just is what it is, man. We've done a bunch of these shows. It's quite a technical task to do once a month. So we're going to put the show on hiatus for a little bit, and we've replaced it with something else. So we've got something else to replace the show with. You're just going to get me from here on in. But don't fear, because we'll bring back the guest opening hour shows later this year. And we'll have sometimes it's just good to have a break, keep things fresh. And so, yeah. And don't worry, because the show with Robin Cheyenne is still saved in the bank. It's still on my YouTube as a private episode. And when we're ready to come back, she'll be the first person who will perform, and we'll have that happening. So I haven't deleted the show. It's just I've moved it back a few months, and we'll do it when we're good to go, because we are replacing that with something else. Thanks, Joe, for my no-show. It was. Trust me, I was very disappointed yesterday. Utterly disappointed. Not for me, for Robin, of course. Yeah. It has been put back to June. There you go. It's been put back to June because we're replacing the show. It said live, yeah, it is in 153 days. That's what's happening. Because we're replacing the show with something else once a month. And that thing is kicking off this week. So I didn't want it to happen this way, but we're doing it this way. It is what it is. And you adjust to make things happen because we are doing this once a month now. We're doing Behind the Song. Episode 6 kicks off. We've already done 5 of these where we take an artist's track who has released their music through DistroKid and we bring them up onto the show. We open up their project and we have a look at how they made their project. So hopefully when we did these shows a while ago, we had Russ on the show. Who'd we have? Thomas Gillane. We had the Indigo Sunsets. Who else? I can't remember who else. We had 5 of them anyway. Oh, we had one of my songs. So we had 5 of these. So this is episode 6. And all you do is I just select somebody. Thank you, Audible Video. And we get your track and we study it for an hour and take a look at it and see exactly the process each artist goes through to make their songs. Because you can have me sitting up here, yeah, every day telling you jibber jabber blabber blabber how to do things. But that's just one opinion. So, you know, when you have other artists come on the show and show their process, hopefully that will give you more insight and more ideas to really, learn more about how people make their music, because it's not just about me. There's so many different ways to make music. And as I said, we are kicking off with Night Train this week and his song, This Is Who I Am. And we'll see how, never point. And we'll see how this all goes, and we'll see how he made this song, because I did this track with him. Let me just do something here. Just going to take my camera and just deactivate it and bring it back. There we go. Hopefully that'll stop the flickering kind of weird shit. So yeah, that'll happen this Thursday. So it'll happen at the end of each month behind the song. I already have a number of people I want to have on the show, and it's just going to give a good opportunity for a wide range of music to and artists to get up here and show how they make their songs. Good stuff. Let's say hello to everybody who's here in the chat today. Let me scoot that off. Hello, Barry Glenn, Gregory O'Sullivan, Barry Glenn, Feisty Feather, Thomas Christ. Man, I've still got a blood nose. It just keeps bleeding. Yay. Good times. Look at that. Don't ban me, YouTube, for showing blood on the camera. It's not my fault. I can't even see where it is. Nothing to see here. Yeah, there's no blood, YouTube. It's all good. And it's not my fault, YouTube, that I've got a blood nose. Don't blame me. Hi, Leela. Audible Video. Russ8889. Thomas Christ. Who else? Blue Unicorn. David L. I say Feisty Feather. I think I did. Who else is here? Sonic Vibe, what's happening? You learned a lot when I did the Trinity app. Thanks. Well, it's now available on Mac. So if you've got it on iOS, the Trinity app now works on your Mac. It was updated last week, so it now works across a whole bunch. So iOS and Mac in the one app. If you didn't know already, now you do. Anyone else I've missed up above here? Hello, Michael Lepense. Hope you're doing good. Blood on the camera. What a great start to Monday morning for me. Bleeding like a sailor. Man, I've been bleeding for the last day and a half. It's been fun, let me tell you. The joys of having a rare blood disorder called ITP. It's so much fun. The good times. Did I see Gary Hubbs is here as well? I saw his name, but he is here. Gary Hubbs. There you are, Gary Hubbs. Boom. Click on that comment. There we go. Oh, no. Is he here? I don't see Gary Hubbs. But if he's here, hello. Man, get my head around shit. What are we doing today? I don't know. I can't remember. I have no idea. What's happening? Who am I? Where are we? Let's look at some price drops. Are there any? That's the wrong one. We're looking at the price drops. We've got Maze Riders on sale. Metronome Pro 2. If you want a free metronome, that's on sale for nothing. It's free. Boom. Neon Audio Editor. For those of you who see me on my Patreon each week, mastering songs, you'll notice I use Neon a fair bit. And it's on sale from $12.99 to $7.99. New Rack, another really cool 4 Pockets app, is $8.99 on sale. Kushiba is on sale. I've covered that as well. Have I? I think so. $6.99 to $4.99. Who can remember after 800 episodes or whatever? It gets crazy. Today we're looking at this. This is Blindfold EQ. And guess what? It's absolutely free. So go download it. It's yours. You don't have to pay a cent. There's a link in the description to go download it. It's absolutely free. It's absolutely worth your time. And it may help you with your EQ. Because Pete Johns did a show last week on GarageBand Weekly all about EQ. and just touching on, the basics of EQ. And again, this is one of those apps that'll really help you with EQ. Why? Because not only is it a blindfold because of some cool things, it works with, as Omni Collective has put up the top here, oh yay, a chance to learn how this app works before he reviews it. Nice. So a spoiler also, it's not like this isn't made for blind people, but Omni happens to be blind, and it also has voiceover included. So good job to AudioThing. And AudioThing are on a roll. I agree 100% Sonic Vibe. So it seems like they're putting out a free app and a paid app and a free app, and they've got another paid app coming really soon down the pipeline. It could be this week. It could come out, I think, or early next week. But there's another new paid app they've got coming out very soon. So, as I said, this is an EQ. There's nothing too flash about it. It does what it says on the box. And but the slight difference, a little quirk to it is that it does not have any, when you turn up something, there's no frequency. There's nothing, you don't know how many frequencies you're turning things up. Because what this is here to do is to help you rely on your ears to mix. Who would have thought using your ears to mix? Because we are blessed these days with so many apps that provide graphical, vision for us. But you know what? Using your eyes to mix things is not always the best way to go. We've fallen into a bizarre trap of trusting our eyes in these things, and it's not always the way to go. You can do everything by the book, by the numbers, by the eyes, by the visuals, and if it sounds shit, that's not going to work. Because we are dealing with music here. You don't listen to music with your eyes. You listen to music with your ears, clearly. But we are in a world where, everything's about eyes, like beauty. If somebody's on TikTok and they're not beautiful, well, nobody watches them. And if somebody's kind of ugly to look at, well, everybody trolls them and treats them like shit. So there you go. Let's just play something here, and then we'll run through how everything works, and then I'll open up a GarageBand project and we'll use it on there. Yeah. Now you noticed as I was turning knobs there's no indication of what the frequencies are. You're just absolutely blindly clutching around in the dark and getting to experience what it would be like for somebody who is blind and not seeing all those readouts. But yes, never fear, because not only can you do that, now I'm just going ahead here and tapping everything, double tapping, and it brings every knob back to 0 just by double tapping. So we're all good there. We'll go into the other one and do the same. I think I did it in that one. All double tapped and back to 0. Good stuff. So let's run through how everything works, what everything looks like, where you can find all the things. And we'll just solo this and hit play. So just using some pure upright here. Hey, Chris Lane. Okay, so we've got over in the far right, you can turn this on and off. So you've got your on-off button. And we've got some options here as well. So we've got show values. So you can show the values if you want to. You don't have to blindly have these turned off. And as you can see now, we have our values showing. So our levels, our hertz. So you don't need to blindly do it. We can turn them off, on, off, whatever's up to you. You can lock all the parameters. So if we set these, we can go in and lock all these. And we can unlock them as well. As we have an unlock all parameters. Pretty standard stuff. You can copy. So you can go in here and copy your settings. Yeah. So we may have these settings here, and I like these settings. And you may want to go and put these over into this one. I can go over here and hit paste, and it pastes the settings over into another instance of this. Really clever stuff. More apps need this. Yeah? Definitely more apps need this. Especially when you're running multiple AUv3s. And you've got a little about section, of course, who the developers are, which is AudioThing. And you can get more plugins and show, isn't it, Audible? It's really baffles me that there aren't more apps that have that feature. Well, I believe it's light on resources, but we're running Splat to Clap, which is quite heavy, so you can see my DSP's up high. So I would blame that for what's... And pure and upright piano is really high as well too. But yeah, apparently in their description it says it's really light on resources, so that's a good thing. Boom. Now, this little lock button up here really locks shit down. You can go in here and select stuff you want to lock, and then turn off the lock, and you'll have locked frequencies. You can go in and unlock them all easily. We do like light resources. We've also got a randomization. So you can take your luck and and gamble your life away with the magic dice, and you never know. That's pretty nice. What a big sound that is. Let's bring the drums back in. So we like that one. we've also got a save button. We can save this as a new preset. Piano, save. And now that goes into your user presets page. You've got your factory presets and your user presets. You can click between the two. Wow, didn't that give that a little bit of spice? You've got some presets in here as well. We'll bring that piano back up a little bit. But not too many. The thing is, you know, I know there are people out there who are like, it doesn't have many presets. It's EQ. It's the same with compressors. Like, having a whole selection of presets is nice, but remember, presets are made for general stuff, and they're not necessarily all going to work with the specific thing that you're mixing. So, you know, it's nice to start with a 0. You can start with a preset. You can hear we've got this box preset, which pulls out all the low end. We've got some clarity, where this one gives a bunch of air. You can see over here, we've got our high-mid frequencies up, high frequencies up. We've got a lit, push. We've got our low-mid frequencies and a sub. Which would probably sound better on drums, of course. Let's go back to our initial patch where everything's back at 0. We've got a soft clip, yeah, to just rein things in a little bit. And we've got an analog button here as well. So that's it pretty much. That's all of the controls. Let's talk a little bit about EQ, shall we? What does it do? What does EQ do? Firstly, if you're EQing a project and you have the track soloed and you're EQing it this way, it's probably not the best way to go, because you're EQing this to sound good as a solo instrument. And you want to be EQing this in with the rest of your music. And you want to find those frequencies where there's space. Yeah, so if you've got a guitar, I would probably mix a guitar with some high to mid frequency. If it's a metal guitar, I'd probably pop up the high to mid frequency just a little bit like that. I don't need a number. I can kind of tell that's going to be okay. Maybe a little bit of air in there. Take out some of those low frequencies as well. Probably turn that up a bit. That's what I would do with a electric guitar, a metal guitar. Make sure I'm still not bleeding from the nose. But remember what this does, you have to remember these gain knobs down here add volume to your song. So if you're adding things continuously to this, this adds to the overall mix of your song, to the loudness of your song. I see people do it all the time. They're mixing a track in, say, GarageBand or Cubase, and then they go into their EQ and they're adding all this volume in here, and the song just gets louder and louder and louder. And on each track, they've got an EQ running, they're pumping up EQ here and a bit of EQ there and a bit of EQ there. And all of this adds up to, when we turn this on and show our values, look at this. It only takes to here, right? Look, that's hardly anywhere from 0. Look at, I've hardly moved that. And already that's adding 1.1 decibels. Yeah? So if you're doing that with all of these, you're adding a little bit of bass here, you're adding some high end up here, you're adding a little bit of low to mid frequencies here. Look at what you've added there. 2.5 dB, 2.3 dB, 1.1 dB, 6.5 dB. You are adding so much freaking volume to your song, and people sit there and then go, my song's too loud, what do? This is probably what you're doing wrong. A lot of EQing doesn't take, you don't need a lot. You don't need an EQ that looks like this. This is crazy. This is insane. Unless you're going for a specific type of sound. Yeah? And with EQ, it's good to cut some stuff out because you want to find frequencies. Now, I mean, this is an interesting app because you can't see the frequencies. I mean, we can right now because I've got the feature turned on. We can unshow these values, and now there's no values there. So you're forced to listen with your ears. What is the Q? So the Q frequency is when you take the point of a node in your EQ and you sharpen it down. I can show you with a visual EQ. We should do that with a visual EQ. We'll do that in GarageBand and show you a Q, but it is a fine point of the EQ, of the frequency, where you'll see when you're looking at EQ, it's normally in waves like this or a shelf, but a Q takes that point and makes it like this. So you're targeting a specific bell point of that. So when you're adding a Q here, we can go and show the values. So you're finding that point and it's closely targeting that particular frequency instead of a wide range. You're actually honing in on a tight point on that frequency. And mostly that is used, your Q, to remove frequencies. So you would turn it up to find the ugly, offending frequency in your sound, and then you would find it and then turn it down. So, I mean, this is really interesting to on so many levels because you're taking away the ability to see the numbers and starting to understand with your ears and to understand what sounds are being removed. Shall we jump over to a project and play around in that? I think so. We'll go into GarageBand, of course, and I think we'll use this, my latest song that I'm working on. So this is an older version of this song called Me and My Brain. Yes, that is true, Barry. If you save a setting, it will save in there. So I'll show you for an example. Now that we're in GarageBand, so to get to this, as always, we're using, it's an AUv3, so you can have multiple instances of it. You select your track, of course, that you're going to add this to. We've got a Brad's bass line in here. And you go to plugins and EQ, add. We've got a tuner in here. I don't actually need that tuner. And we would add over here, go to audio unit extensions and look for Blindfold EQ. And you'll see what's really nice, I have to say, great job on making this work in GarageBand nice and compact. I love it when an app fits here in the compact screen so you can still see what's going on down here. So yes, if I go to my presets, you'll see I saved that piano preset earlier, and there it is. Ready for me to grab at any time, and your factory presets are there as well. So click off. Let's solo this just to hear what's going on. So we've got Brad's bass in here, and at any time in GarageBand we can go full screen. 2. So notice when I turn up, that low frequency, watch our volume here. Here's our overall volume. There it is, sitting pretty right there. I'm going to turn up the low end. Did you see how much volume that went up there? You are adding volume, remember that. So again, I don't have this turned on. I'm just going to go by my ears. Let's turn off the effect. Just want it to sound a little bit deeper, some deep pockets. And also down the bottom here, you can actually turn off these as well. So if you don't want to use the low to mid frequencies, you can cut them out. So you can see in there, I added a little bit of gain to the low frequency, but why is that? Because I just want that bass to be a bit thicker, but I will go and remove this gain somewhere else. Somewhere else, because I don't want it. I don't want everything to have bass. Here was the original bass track, and there was my original bass track, because we can go in and remove that elsewhere. So if we go into our piano track here, we've got 2 piano tracks. And we'll bring this in, Blindfold EQ. And I'm going to change the frequency to a low frequency here. Because see, if we turn this on, hey Mr. Smith, anyone else I may have missed who's joined? So we can show the values, remember? And here are our hertz. And we can decide how much we're cutting out here. But I'm cheating, but I'm just showing you what's going on. So we've got a second piano part here. There's 2 piano parts in this. So we'll go in here and I've done this on purpose with my piano parts because we've got like this melody on this one, and the first one is more of a low end kind of thing. So I want this to be a bit toppy. So we'll go in here and add this blind EQ. And you can see from where we started, remember where our volume was when we first started? Look where we're up to now. We were down here. And now we're here. Hi Omni, hi Princess. I think I said hi to Mr. Smith. But you should be able to hear that piano is really popping a lot more in there. So now all of this has no EQ on it at the moment. So we're flying blindly with EQ. Now, as you can see, all my drums are separated here. So we've got kicks, snares. I think we've got toms here. Hi-hats. Don't know what's in this one. So we've got rides in here, and we've got 2 sets of cymbals. So let's just mute all these drums. Let's mess around with these kicks. We want these kicks to snap. They're a bit out of time there. They sound out of time, but they're not. So we didn't actually add any volume to those kicks, but they're much more prominent by themselves. By removing some of the low end, of course. So we got toms now. Let's give these toms a bit of thickness. Again, didn't add any volume to this track, and now those toms are just sitting a little bit pretty. Yes, high-low pass filters can remove low, exactly. So, I mean, I can show you, here's our visual EQ. We actually have a visual EQ on here, but it's set to 0. So, there's your, however you want to call it, cutting highs, cutting lows, whichever way they decide to do it, high pass, low pass filter. You can do all of that. And this is your visual readout. Unfortunately, with this particular EQ that's in GarageBand, you can't really do any Q settings in here. But in the other one that's available, you can do so. We'll just make sure that's off. Make sure that sucker's off. I'm going to bring in the rest of this stuff here. Take this back to the start. Now remember, EQ, you don't have to EQ everything. There's really fantastic songs out there by people in our community, Ross, who hardly uses any EQ at all, if any. Because always, when you're recording things, it's always best to find the sound that you want before you start recording. Start at the get the sound you want as close as you possibly can. The tone, the tonality, everything you need, and put that into your song, and then you shouldn't have to do too much. If you're finding yourself sitting here at the mixing stage of a song and you're having to do a hell of a lot of EQing to make your song sound good, I'm afraid to tell you you're doing something wrong. You're not, you know what I mean? You really want to try and find your sound. Think about your sound as you're recording it in. It's the most important thing. Understand what you're seeking instead of recording something in and then trying to fix it. Because, nobody makes things like, I don't go and bake a pie, put it in the oven and, or a cake, put all the mixture together, put it in the pan and then put it in the oven. And then once it comes out, try and fix it. That's not how it works. You don't make a cake that way. You get the ingredients right at the beginning and then you add the icing on top at the end, and you add all that flair and all the little things on top to make it look nice and all that at the end. So EQ is just to remove frequencies and make things pop a little bit more. Yeah. Make it pop, remove those low rumbles that you may have captured. If you're using a microphone and miking up, a guitar amp or an acoustic guitar, and you may have a few, no matter where you stick that microphone, you're still getting some kind of low rumble in there. EQ is fantastic for doing that. It is not the fix for everything. It's like, I see it again all the time with compression. People are like, it's all right. It sounds like shit, but I'll just add compression to it. Compression, it's not like magic dust. It's not. It doesn't like repair things. It can bring levels into, a nicer, tighter volume, but that's all it really does. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't go into things like that. And that's what hopefully this EQ should help you do. Use your ears a little bit more instead of focusing on your eyes. Because as we said at the beginning of the show, you don't listen to music with your eyes. So you really shouldn't be making music with your eyes as well. Ask Omni Collective that. He doesn't make music with his eyes. He makes music with his ears because he's forced to. So this app can force you into that kind of situation. I think that's all we're really going to cover today. There's not really too much to go over with this app. It's free. Go download it, have some fun with it, test yourself, see if your ears, because at the end of the day, if it sounds shit in your ears, guess what? It sounds shit in my ears too, right? That's your song, and it's got to sound good in your ears. So, use EQ to make your song sound good to you? And if it sounds good to you and you're really happy with it most of the time, it's going to sound good to all of us. That's the most important thing. Trust yourself. And I think that's the lesson that this app is offering, to trust yourself. It's your music. If you don't start trusting yourself with your music, I mean, you can ask as many questions as you want. Like, and it's always encouraged to ask questions, join groups, ask questions to people who you may think have answers. But at the end of the day, if you're just continuously asking questions and watching tutorials and doing all this stuff and not trusting yourself, you're not moving forward. And you've got to move forward with your music. And hopefully this can help you trust yourself and bake the cake that looks and tastes delicious. Yeah? Happy days. There you go. The sermon is over. What's coming up tomorrow? Let me tell you what's coming up tomorrow on the show. We're taking a look at, not this, we're taking a look at something, this. We're looking at Shape Synth. So a couple of weeks ago, was it last week or the week before? I can't remember. I think it was the week before. We had a look at the String app, yeah, which is really cool. And this is another one of Eric's apps called Shape Synth. It's you draw in the shapes for your synth. It's really simple to use and some really interesting sounds you can get from this. It's super cheap as well. And then the day after that, yes, we're finally taking a look at the new DaVinci Resolve 18 on iPad. So I've been playing around with this for a fair while, and guess what? Believe it or not, DaVinci Resolve 18 on iPad is absolutely free. Free for all of you. But the one thing you need to keep in mind is you need quite a powerful iPad to run this. I would suggest an iPad Pro 2018 or above. It runs on an iPad Pro 2018. Some of the features are missing, but on an M1 and M2, this runs beautiful. And on the show also, I'll be sneakily teaching you how to unlock the full version of this, because they've got some things hidden inside that aren't the full DaVinci Resolve experience, but you can unlock them at your own risk. You can try, if it's an iPad Pro 2000, it's probably, if it's an iPad Pro 2017, you can give it a go, Audible. But I mean, it's very powerful stuff. Oh yeah, it was Gary who was on the show. Thanks. Yes, I did do Gary Hubb's Heartbeat. We did for the behind the song as well. Yeah, but this is, I'll give you a quick look at DaVinci Resolve. This is DaVinci. It's pretty powerful stuff. Where are we? It is. It's really powerful stuff. You've got so many things you can do with this. The green screen, and I love this, moving my mouse around. Look what it does. All this, it's kind of like using the pencil. It auto selects things for you and gives you a preview of effects and stuff. It's really neat. But we'll cover this on Wednesday. And also on the show coming up this week, we're continuing on with making a song in N-Track Studio, my Kindercore song, episode 2 of this. And as I said, at the end of the week, we're heading back with Behind the Song with Night Train 1988. And we're going to see how he and I made this track, because I sung vocals on this track also. He sent me the project. We're ready to rock and roll. Pete Johns is up next, folks. He's got YML coming up where he's playing Your Music Live. So I will dump you over there straight after this show, and you can go over and listen to all the latest cool songs that Pete is showing or playing for you today. As usual, go and do that, and I will see you tomorrow in the funny pages. Remember, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. And we'll all rise together. 'Cause you make me shine better. And we'll all rise together. You make me shine better. And when the night is cold